Yes guys, what's going on? Adam McKola here, Adam McKola TV, back for another weekly United in the week where Manchester United have beaten Inter Milan and Tottenham Hotspur on pre-season duty and ended their tour of Australia and Asia, heading back to England, to Manchester, ahead of two more friendly games which obviously take place in Norway and in Wales. Lots of talk on and off the pitch about what's going on with Manchester United at the moment as well. Transfer season is really heating up right now as well as we head into the last 2 weeks, and Ed Woodward has gone AWOL apparently, or on holiday or something, which begs the question, what the hell is he doing on holiday at this time of year? Regardless of that, we're discussing everything here on the Weekly United, and we'll be talking about obviously the results right now. Let's look at the results that Manchester United have had coming in to pre-season. Obviously we beat Perth, we beat Leeds, and then we had Inter Milan at the start of this week in Singapore. I was there in Singapore doing some stuff for Full Time Devils. It was absolutely epic out there in Perth and in Singapore. To everybody that we met along the way, thank you for being a part of an outstanding journey. But we saw United beat Inter Milan 1-0 thanks to a late goal from Mason Greenwood, which has seen an incredible record of all of our goals on pre-season tour, 9 of them being scored or assisted by somebody from the academy. Now that's a fantastic record for Manchester United to have. We kept that up as well in the game against Spurs, with Andreas Pereira setting up Anthony Martial, and then of course Angel Gomez wrapping it up towards the end to get Manchester United the 100% record on tour and getting us closer to that ICC World Tournament trophy, pre-season championship of the world, and all of that good stuff. You know what I'm talking about, the main stuff, the main trophy. But yeah, pre-season's been alright. Let's be real, on the pitch it's looked good for Manchester United. The new signings have bedded in pretty well. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's looked fantastic, and an interesting stat is we haven't conceded with him on the pitch. In fact, we've only conceded 1 goal during pre-season, and that was against Spurs when Aaron Wan-Bissaka wasn't on the pitch. He showed incredible recovery, incredible tackles, incredible energy in terms of getting backwards and getting forward. He can still improve in terms of his delivery in the final third and his final passing and all that stuff, his link-up play. But overall, Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been very, very impressive. Daniel James too, he looks to have settled in now. We don't need to heap too much pressure on him. He's not coming with a massive price tag. He's obviously 21 years of age, so he's coming up to those years now, these formative years. And Manchester United have a player there that looks like he's going to be an absolute live wire, particularly off the bench. You imagine late on in a game, 70th minute, 75th minute, Manchester United deadlocked with an opponent. You wouldn't want to see Daniel James coming off the bench. He's got great pace, great speed. I think he could use it a little bit better in terms of his running, but he's someone that will learn and will improve as well. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got something to work on there. Of course, I do think we need a little bit more going down that right-hand side. And obviously you hear of links with Nicolas Pepe, with Jadon Sancho as well. Of course, that one's not going to happen this summer. But you hear all these links to different players. Daniel James isn't that guy that's going to come in and demand a first team position week in, week out, but he's hopefully someone that we can build up to a position where he can do that. Now, Aaron Wan-Bissaka will fulfill a position for Manchester United. He will become our main right back. That's no doubt about it. But we need a few more signings like that, and it's leaving me a little bit worried. Yes, there's a lot to be positive about when you're looking at Manchester United in terms of a lot of good players coming through the ranks. Angel Gomez, Mason Greenwood, Tahith Chong, Axel Tuanzebe. Is he going to go out on loan or not? That remains to be seen. With Axel though, what I would mainly want to see is he going to get game time at United? If he's not, then let him go. Let him go to Aston Villa and play Premier League football week in, week out. But Axel Tuanzebe again is another one of those players we can be excited about. Martial and Rashford, you know, they're still young. We expect a lot more of them this season. We need to demand 20 plus goals of each of them this season, but they're only going to improve. They're only going to get better. There's a lot to be confident and positive about in this team, but there are still things in the short term that we really need to resolve. Centre half is one of those positions. Eric Bailly's injured now. Obviously he doesn't plan on getting injured, but that's something about him. He's something that we can't rely on his fitness, and I feel the same whenever Lindelof goes down, Jones goes down, Smalling goes down, Rojo goes down. They're all inconsistent in terms of availability, injuries, performance, form. They're all inconsistent. We haven't got one centre-half that we can rely on at this moment in time. I think Lindelof is becoming one of those, but I don't want to speak too soon. If we can get a Harry Maguire in there alongside him, we're looking good again, and we're looking solid in that back line. Luke Shaw at left back, Bissaka at right back, Lindelof and Maguire, or Smalling and Maguire, or Bailly and Maguire if he's not injured. So we've then got other options. But Axel Tuanzebe, for me, if we're not going to sign a centre half, or even if we do sign a centre half and we can get rid of, say, Rojo and another at there, you can then begin to give Axel Tuanzebe game time for Manchester United, and then you maybe don't have to look at him letting him go. But that relies on us doing a lot more business than we're seeing at the moment. We've let Herrera go on a free, we let Valencia go. There was no deals involved in doing that. We've brought in Daniel James, we've brought in Bissaka, but apart from that, there's been no business from Manchester United, and we expected a summer of change. Of course, we didn't expect to see 10 players go out and 10 players come in, but we expected a lot more than 2 coming in, and we expected a lot more than 2 going out, and one of those not being Ander Herrera. So not only did we need a central midfielder, we've now lost a central midfielder that we haven't yet replaced. Now, for me, McTominay is beginning to prove me wrong in terms of how he's playing and his abilities and so on. And for me, he's first choice for Manchester United with Pogba in midfield. But that shouldn't be the case. We need more quality in there. We need more quality. And yes, all the talks about a centre-half, and rightly so, we need a centre-half. We needed one last summer. That was a big problem for us. But when you're now looking at, our central midfield positions as well, Paul Pogba's the only player that we can rely on. And even he's had his inconsistencies at Manchester United. But he's the only quality that we have in there. McTominay, unproven. Of course, he's shown that he can provide something as a squad player. But do we want him starting week in, week out? Probably not. Andreas Pereira has been fantastic for a few pre-seasons now. Yet to cut the mustard in terms of the first team. He needs to prove himself. Fred hasn't proved himself for Manchester United yet. You're going through the list of our midfielders. Matic is getting no younger. He's probably not suited to the way we're playing football under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with this high press, high intensity. He takes too long to sort his feet out. Same issues that Lukaku's having in this style of play. And you're looking at that and thinking, we need more in midfield as well. And there's a lot of questions still about Manchester United, and there's only 2 weeks left to go to resolve these questions and to resolve these holes in our squad. If we get Maguire, absolutely fantastic. I'd be more happy with our defence going forward. David De Gea, get him tied down. Is he going to get the captaincy? There's a lot of talk about that as well. But then in midfield, we still got a gaping hole, and you'd think we need a player in midfield. There's talk about Sergej Milinkovic-Savic if Pogba leaves. We don't need to be hearing about replacing Pogba if he leaves. We need to be bringing in players to play with him, because the quality's not there, the numbers aren't there, and we need a lot more in central midfield, and I just don't think we can rely on anybody to deliver that. Now, we might have a surprise. McTominay may become absolutely fantastic for us and demand a start, but we can't rely on these younger players coming in and just doing that. And I think that could happen with us in terms of our, you're looking at James Garner maybe, you're looking at Mason Greenwood if we don't get more quality in terms of the front line. Now, you don't want to hold them back, but there's also a balance in not pouring too much pressure on them and demanding everything off them. Now you have to take our time with them. It was good to see United kind of kept Mason Greenwood back from doing any press or any media appearances on tour, which I think was good as well, keeping him level-headed, keeping his feet on the ground, and making sure he doesn't have that prying eye of the press. That was good to see, but we don't want to be demanding way too much of these guys too soon, because that could destroy a player. It can make them. It can make them. We saw with Marcus Rashford, he reacted to it well when he got his chance, but you don't want to break these players as well and demand so much of them. But 2 players we do need to demand a lot of, and we've seen them get opportunities at that number 9 position. Both of them would say that's their preferred position, is Martial and Marcus Rashford now. Big fans of both of them. 2 of my favourite players in this team. They've got fantastic potential, fantastic ability, but we need to see consistency from them now. I think they may have been held back a little bit under the previous manager, but now under Ole, he's going to give them the chance, he's going to give them the opportunity, he's going to give them the encouragement, he's going to be positive about them, he's going to give demands as well, which we want to see, but hopefully he can work on them. Now with Marcus Rashford, I think he needs to take his chances more. He needs to be more killer in front of goal. His movement and all that stuff, fantastic. In terms of Martial, he's fantastic in front of goal. He's got great feet, great trickery, but he needs to be making better runs. And I think if he did that, he'd create more opportunities for himself as well. Little things that Ole can work on with these guys, but they've got the potential. And if Romelu Lukaku leaves, they're going to have to step up. Whether you like Rom or you don't like Rom, I think we can all agree probably doesn't suit Ole's style of play. And for that, I can't begrudge him wanting him to leave, because he needs to be first choice for someone. But if Lukaku leaves, it's then on Martial and Rashford stepping up. Are we going to replace Lukaku? You hear about Ben Yedder and things like that. You hear about Nicolas Pepe maybe. I wouldn't be surprised to see us get another player that can play in the wider areas, and then allowing Martial and Rashford to focus on the number 9 position. Sanchez as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see us do that, but then maybe we're just going to throw a lot of pressure on these younger lads because of our failure to bring in players in the market, and maybe get rid of some as well, because getting rid of players, being able to get rid of players, means we free up some of the wage bill, we free up some money, and we can bring in more players as well. But we haven't done that either, and the wholesale changes that we maybe come to expect, or at least the shredding of some of the players that aren't good enough, hasn't happened. The signings that we needed haven't yet happened. Yes, Wan-Bissaka is a fantastic signing. Yes, Daniel James is exciting, but we need more. Centre half definitely, central midfielder definitely, and I think we're only going to end up with one of them, and it could mean another long season, or it could mean relying on certain other players to step up and fill the gap, and that's a lot of demands for them. We've got Europa League next season, we've got obviously Premier League, Thursday, Sunday, we know what it does to teams, and then the style of football that we're trying to play. We need a strong squad, we need depth and quality, and at the moment in some key positions we haven't got that, and we need to resolve it. And we're reading things like Ed Woodward's just come off holiday and that. Now, I'm not one of those guys that, you know, I understand things can be done by email, by a phone call. Ed Woodward isn't going to be doing everything, but fucking hell, going to Marbella at this time of year, and you know, we need to make signings. We've got a new manager that's just come in, we need to back him, and we haven't done that so far. And it's the same story for the previous managers. Look, Jose Mourinho laid his bed in the end, but even last summer we were all saying the same thing. If he doesn't get a centre half, we worry for what happens this season. And you know, that was where he started to crack up, and yes, things happened after that, and he probably deserved the boot. In fact, he did deserve the boot in the end, but there were reasons why he began to crack, and why those cracks began to appear, and why he began to talk the way he did about players, and it was because he never got the backing in the window. And at the moment, Ole seems to not be getting that. We need it ASAP, because so far on the pitch, like, what he's doing looks good. Yes, it has to return in results, and we can't get excited about pre-season, but what he's trying to do looks good. But what's happening off the pitch, what's happening in terms of the transfer market, is yet again what appears to be more failure, but there's still time to turn it around. If we get Harry Maguire in the next couple of days, and then we sign another central midfielder or attacker, and you know, we get a player, and we get 2-3 more signings, then maybe we can relax a little bit. But the time's ticking, and so far, you know, it's the end of the pre-season tour. We've only got 2 games left to warm up for the Chelsea, and all of our business isn't done yet, and we're nowhere near to having it all done yet. Get it sorted, Ed. Anyway, guys, this has been the Weekly United. Little bit of positivity, little bit of a moan, little bit of negativity. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We're back here as well on Adam McKola TV. Plenty more content coming your way. We'll have live streams, we'll have videos, everything coming up. I'm meeting up with Steve next Monday to film something as well. So if you've got any questions for us, maybe I'll do like a Q&A with Steve next week, ahead of some regular content we're going to be doing together. So yeah, get your thoughts in the comments below, get your questions in the comments below. Keep it locked to Adam McKola TV, keep it locked to the Weekly United, and for now, I'm out of here.